The ironic thing is, anyone can go from a deep desperation into a pillar of strength in a moment just by. Today we're talking about the silent issue plaguing hospitality businesses globally. There's a serious statistic that despite the odds, many people around the world pursue their passion of owning and running a cafe. Yes, it's the closure rate, it's freaking high, no one gets out alive. Maybe there's an illusion or delusion about it, but let's face it, people love to express themselves in creative ways. And in the hospitality industry, that's flavors, that's beverages, that's experiences, that's overwhelming sensation. Oh my God, that's the hospitality industry. But this is a volatile space with fickle clientele, low margins, and high staff turnover. After working with hundreds of different venues over the last 20 years, I've seen some key trends affecting these businesses. Not all of them are beneficial. Some of the challenges that I've witnessed bring me nearly to tears because I see something of a magnificent effort being brought down to its knees and even into bankruptcy. We start our business, our cafe, thinking people will want to buy our products over and over again, which is true. And there's the technical aspect of the service of these products that comes into play. But when things don't go right, often I see owners, managers bottle up their fears. They drown themselves in an ocean of doubt without the clarity to solve these challenges. It may start out as denial, but it often leads to worse things like addiction. They're missing the one key thing, which is often these challenges were preventable. It's a knowledge gap. Nevertheless, these problems cause immense stress, emotional breakdowns, relationship breakups. It's catastrophic. After all this time in the business of hospitality, I realized that it's quite a simple equation. Business failures are caused by not making enough money to support the people within that space. The shareholders, the business owners, and the staff. When the shit hits the fan, the overwhelming mental challenge and the emotions that come with it take hold and grip whomever is in the firing line. It's debilitating at times. As I said, this statistic is catastrophic. 60% of businesses in hospitality in Australia are going to be closed within the first year of trade. That leads up to 80% within the first 5 years. So if you're a business owner in the cafe hospitality scene, you know this, and I can only imagine the immense amount of pressure you're under. Despite grinning through those smiles, you're doing your best, but maybe it's not going all to plan. And if it is, awesome, but if it's not, there is hope. The first resource I'd like to point you to is asking for help. Don't feel like you're on your own. I know most people don't feel like they can because they don't feel that the people around them are ready and able to support them. They also don't want to burden other people with their problems. However, if you do your research, you can find those within your group, within your core team that you can ask for help despite the shame that you might be feeling. There are also industry professionals that are trained in dealing with these situations. Asking for help is a daunting concept because we live in a society that promotes the stiff upper lip. Just get on with it, shut up and get your job done. I understand there's a time and a place for that, but when you really don't know what to do, you've got to ask for help because there are no alternatives. And I too am learning to fail in open waters that may lead to ridicule. It's pressurizing, but I've learned to love looking at my mistakes and fears with the lens geared towards growing and developing. This also comes because I know that in reality, there are amazing people out there who are open and willing to assist in the growth and development of you and in your goals. Some might be called healthcare professionals, others might be called friends and family. It depends on your scenario. I just want to acknowledge that I know you're afraid. I am too. It's a world full of fear. Let's talk about some kickstart tools that will really help you to unveil the shroud and move into the space that you've always desired. The first thing that I really love is generating clarity around what it is that you want. Being able to measure your progress is really helpful. And in business, the kind of measures you're looking for are gross profit margin, average spend per transaction, and revenue per full-time staff member. Revenue per staff member is particularly important because it measures efficiency of your business. Gross profit is important because it measures the relationship between how much you spend versus how much you earn. And you've got to work out which costs to cut and which products to sell more of. It's a balancing act. I spoke earlier about the mental cost of business. To be more specific, sometimes it costs people their business, their homes, their relationships, their livelihood, and even worse, sometimes it costs them their lives. Whilst there's no hard and fast rule, being armed with tools that can help assist in the progress of these challenges is definitely better than being silent and watching the pressure mount. Mental health practices such as breathwork or ice baths can really keep the mental stress at bay. Utilizing healthcare professionals and the advice of caring individuals can even more profoundly affect your progress. You might already be in the pursuit through these channels and not quite getting it, but that's okay. Just be patient. You could be closer than you could ever know. For me, I searched for years for the balance of allopathy, work, and exercise. Failed relationships, conflicts in personal and work life plagued me for years. They all lay in the wake of my poor decision making. Looking back, I realized how powerful the journey really is. I looked to others for stability rather than looking to myself to see what was wrong and what I should change. I was codependent and not resilient. I was emotionally unintelligent. Now, that's not to say that I'm a master of any of these today, but through speaking to knowledgeable people, taking the time to research and implement my findings, I have found that I could really be all of these things, and so could you. As a result of this little progression, there's been a huge alignment in my personal and professional life. It's tear-jerking for me, and I wish it all for you. Just take the time to speak out, figure out what's not working for you. If it's getting you down, don't let it get you down for too long. There is a way. Remember that, there is a way. You'll have to discover what motivates you, what gets you up in the morning, what can give you a full life. I believe it was Rocky who said, "It's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can get hit and still keep going." To me, the benefits for talking things through, getting things out in the open with trusted individuals that you know, like, and trust far outweigh the fears of staying silent and being stuck in the doldrums of the everyday challenges. Find your network, find your support team, get those things out there and see what they've got to contribute. You will get ahead, most likely faster than you anticipate. You can resolve your guilt, resolve your shames. You can learn to love the difficulty that you've created. And if you've fallen out with the love of business, you can fall back in love with your business and reclaim your place in the business world. So how do we do this? For me, I write a lot, I write every day, and it's absolutely exhilarating. It's vulnerable, it's a little bit off-putting, it's a little bit daunting, but I do it anyway because it works. Ben Crow, a well-renowned performance coach, says, "You can't really know what you want until you know who you are." So what I do is I start to notate my wants, desires, fears, doubts, my thoughts on a piece of paper every single day, and it lets me know who I am through the way that I think. With that deep insight into who you are, you can then align it with what it is that you really want. By going deeper and looking into the unconscious, you can unveil things that you didn't realize that you really wanted. For me, it was excitement that I lacked. And I really want to be excited because it makes me happy and it makes the people around me even happier. So I just started to create a YouTube business on hospitality businesses and to develop a consulting and marketing company for hospitality. This is a difficult and complex problem which just absolutely enthralls me. For me, it's the writing that gives you the formula to unveil exactly who you are, what you want, and how to get there. Let's go to a really exciting place in the world of solving business problems. If your business requires problem solving, you're in a constant state of stress. There's no denying it. It never leaves your mind, it consumes you. Your business and personal world are completely overtaken, 24 hours a day. I'd like to offer you the chance to completely dissolve that consumption. I'm literally here at any time for anyone to reach out for a heart-to-heart, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm saying, let's take a minute right now. Close your eyes. Imagine a world where you've solved those problems. In your case, we're going to dissolve those problems. They no longer exist. You've created a business. It's running just how you imagine it. Feel that feeling. This is starting to grow. Your staff are happy and they stick around. The complaints no longer in sight. But there's a bigger payoff. Your partner, your family, your friends, they've noticed the change in you. You're happier, bubblier, brighter, have more free time and energy to invest in them. They love it. The peace that you feel from dissolving your problems allows them to now feel at peace too. Their confidence is rising just as yours was. They have certainty about a bright and positive future, one that allows money and love to flow affluently. They know that hard work works, and they begin to embody that into their lives. They're taking you as an example of leadership. Your authority is the provider for that motivation for them. In my world, there's nothing more amazing than coming home after a long day at work and seeing those beautiful little girls run up to me, so happy and pleased to see me. And that big one, that big one, my beautiful partner. Hey baby, how was your day? It all makes sense. Imagine this. It's not some pie in the sky fantasy. This is real. Feel this. Enjoy this. Stress will stop you from wanting to talk. Take that breath. Start the process. Begin with a conversation that addresses your stresses, your fears, and your doubts. Stress is the silent killer, keeping you silent. I say that, speak out, and live well.